Welcome to Grow Your Strength. This is week 6 of this program, so that means that the next posting after this will be a new routine. This one has been fun, starting in a sitting position for breath. If you like, if you prefer to be on the floor in a face up or face down breathing position, that works too. So thanks for joining me. Just take some time to get comfortable. Breathing in and out through your nose if you can. In the sitting position, I'm looking not to elevate into my neck and shoulders, to breathe nice and deep into my abdominal cylinder. Nice long, slow inhale and exhale. After your next breath cycle, we're going to slowly transition to some versions of flexion extension. And through the class, I'll try and show some sitting options or using the chair to help support you in your balance or movement. So this would be your sitting flexion and extension. And then option to come to standing, slight bend in the knees. As you forward fold, you can rotate your palms in, and that's the internal rotation of your shoulders. And then slowly rolling through your back, coming up right, not moving too quickly through the neck, and gently letting the weight of the head open up your neck as you look up. And here I'm rotating my palms out, and that would be external rotation of the shoulders. So take some time to try and go through this just a couple more times slowly. Reminder to refocus on some breath and just gift your spine and shoulders some movement. After your next cycle, we will just come to standing, and today I'm going to split the stance, so one foot in front of the other, and just weight shift forward into my front foot and then into my back foot. I'm just kind of waking up my toes. Whether you have shoes on for a little support or shoes off, you can still give your toes a little wiggle. And just as you try a few more of these passes, take a little longer, a little balance on the back foot, a little balance on the front foot, and then we'll go ahead and switch a little longer. And then just settling into one foot in front of the other. I'm going to take my feet just a little wider though, so I've got a good base of support. Cross my arms, and from my hips up, I'm just going to rotate gently and turn and look behind me, trying to get some movement and rotation through my upper back and neck. You might have a tendency to sort of spill into the rotation, but if you keep your hips square, sort of idea of belly button facing the wall in front of you. Taking a breath in and exhaling as you go through these, just looking and getting a little bit more out of your back and neck. So we'll switch the front foot. And a nice solid base of support, and we'll do this same thing. Sometimes I get this sort of anatomy geeky thing that I feel like sharing, and so I'm on that right now. But if you think of the side bend while I'm talking, okay? So you think of the spine as being, the most central part of your core box. If your core box is sort of hips, shoulders, including the head and neck, and your spine is the sort of central bony structure. Here we're doing a lateral bending of the spine, but we can also add a little ear to shoulder, so you do get a little lateral bend of the neck. And sometimes especially if you're tight in the neck, you'll feel that nice stretch to the tissues down the side of the neck. You could stop the side bend and just do the neck, right? So it's like the neck is a mini spine. This is your side bend or your lateral flexion of your spine, and then you can make it sort of small and then more global like we did to the start. The same could be done. Let's just work on flexion of the neck. We did the forward fold and a full flexion and extension, but really just allowing a little motion through your neck. Motion is lotion, not forcing anything. Here's the smaller mini spine as I envision it to be, although everything is connected, so the amount of movement you have in flexion and extension of your upper neck, that's your cervical spine, will affect the amount of flexion you have further down. So I'm always thinking of it kind of in a micro and macro level. The rotation, we'll do this last as here's the rotation where we're just moving the head. And as much as I say everything's connected, sometimes, for example, when you're crossing the street, you're walking forward, or you're in a car and you need to do a neck check, a lane check, we can't rotate the whole body while we're sitting and strapped in with a seat belt. So maintaining good neck mobility is important for safety. So we'll work on some ankle stuff now, so from head to toe. As I shift from side to side, I'm just getting a sense of, okay, what's happening in my ankle, my knee, and my hip as I look for some connection to the floor. If you need a little balance support to focus on the ankle, I'm good with that, because really now I just want to stop and work from the ankle, pointing the toes away and pulling the toes up. And if you were also working on balance, you might not be able to get quite to the end range. Did you like that demo of where your ankle can go? So working on ankle mobility consistently, about 5 of these slow moves. And sometimes I do a few slow, and it's part of program planning. I'll say, okay, now let's also move the foot fast, so I can go back to the first side and try and move my ankle through that range fast. Certainly, we need to be able to react sometimes in a faster fashion, but we also want to be able to access the best range of motion of our ankle joints for so many reasons that I just want to emphasize so many. Here I'm turning the sole of my foot in and out, and this is reduce the risk of falling, reduce the risk of actually hurting your ankle if you were to roll on it. And I think the better condition your feet are, the better you can walk. So your gait, whether you walk slow or fast, we want to make sure we maintain as good walking speed as possible as we age. Okay, circles. And I didn't do the slow fast on the in and out, but we can do this on the circles. There's a couple slow, there's a couple fast. Switch directions, slow and fast. And switching sides. And getting some good movement there. We'll go up the chain a little this morning now, just with some knee circles. Here I'm just going to slightly sit back, and I'm just going to circle gently through my knees. Just not pushing anything that doesn't feel right. So this could be a much smaller movement. Good. And then we'll work up to the hips. You can put your hands on your hips and just push over to one side. Sit back, go slow. What are you feeling? Little stretch responses as you go through 1 or 2 circles in each direction. This feels like a very good thing to be doing on a very dark gray morning in Vancouver. Just waking up the body from the ground up. And then we'll have arms at the sides. We'll start to go into some shoulder circles. So thinking about pulling the shoulders up, pulling back. You might feel your shoulder blades pinch together, down, and then forward. Reverse direction. Yeah, we'll go into a little bit for the hands today. So palms forward. You can come up and down a few times. Those elbows. And then try to turn the palms. Push down, turn the palms up, palms down, opening up the fingers. You can have your hands together and just stretch down in a bit of a prayer position. You can also turn your fingers down and pull up, get a nice stretch of the wrists and some wrist circles. Do you think we're ever going to start this training program? Sheila's having fun today. Okay. Balance reaches. So now we've woken up the body. We're going to reach. Take some time to find your best foot position. As you reach forward, either in the air or to that chair, you are also extending the back heel. You can come up and alternate sides. We'll do about 3 per side. A reminder that balance is a practice. So you just want to take some time to consistently add something into your routine. Little things I like to think about is the breath. So that intra-abdominal cylinder, if I breathe in, I get some connection, and that creates a light bracing of my torso, my hips, my pelvis. So it does make balance easier. And it's a component of balance, your core strength and your hip strength. It's not everything. And I think we've talked about that in previous videos. So after year 3 and 3, we'll take it into some body weight squats. I'm just finding a distance, width for my footprint that feels like I can sit down into my hips without any discomfort. Generally wider with your toes turned out is going to create a bit more space in your hips, but everybody's internal structure is a little different. So some people can squat with a much more narrow or conservative position. I like adding the little nuances of breathing in as I pull myself down. My toes are nice and connected, trying not to scrunch them as I stand up. Got a little activation of my hip muscles. 5 or 6 of those, and then into the hip hinge movement. So this is a little different because the knees bend and the hips go back, but be mindful that you're not going forward with the knees. I like the short stop feeling if you're a baseball fan. That short stop, that athletic position is very similar to sitting the hips back, breathing in, and exhaling as you come up. Sometimes I'll add a little shoulder rotation of the hands at the top, just kind of opening the shoulders, getting a good alignment of my posture that way. All right, we'll go into some extension reaches next, and then we'll do some work that we add some load to. So with extension reaches, I sit back into my hips and then lift my heels and try and reach for the roof. Aim for about 5 of these, just taking your time. If you feel too unsteady to lift your heels, then just take it here and look up, opening up the back and the neck. And as you sit back down, sit those hips back, get the arms back as far as you can, and then reach up. Nice deep breathing as you go through those movements. We'll go right into squat and press with the option of taking a load. With the squat and press, it's 6 per side. And if you've been following along this is week 6, so it's the last week of this program. It's the same exercise we've been doing. I take the weight to the shoulder, find my squat position again, inhale as I come down, and then press overhead. So I'm having a little squat, stop, press, stop. So here, ready to press. The weight is manageable for me overhead. I know that if you picked up a weight and after a few repetitions, you're like, this doesn't feel so good in my neck, please put it down. Don't press or do any exercises like that. Let's just figure it out why your movement feels that way before you load it up. You want good quality movement before you load. Wonderful. Switching sides. Inhale down, exhale up. Take another inhale as I press. You don't have to coordinate the breath. It's just something that can be a good sort of conservative measure to make sure you protect your back, and your pelvic floor can benefit from good deep breathing. It's a layer. Good. Okay, now I'm going to go with the balance reaches again, but with an option to take the weight that you've been using for the shoulder, hold it on its ends, and now see if you can balance with the weight as your counterbalance instead of reaching your arms out. Take some time, do about 3 per side, and if this doesn't feel doable, then you can go back to balancing in the air or to a chair. Looks great. Taking that breath in, I'm scooting my leg back nice and straight. It's like if I was drawing a line in the sand, I would just want my leg to go straight in the sand, not twist. I always find with balance, working with clients, that they'll say, oh, that side is so much harder than the other. And I just want to remind you that we do tend to have a bit of a dominant side. Let's go back to our squats. We tend to have a goofy side. In Strong First, my kettlebell certification, they don't talk about like a weakness. There's strong and stronger. There's no weak side. I like that. How's it feeling on the shoulders? The breath, pushing the floor away. This weight is not easy, but I've got the ability to sort of bring my angle out a little bit more. It's not a max press, so I feel like I'm recruiting my shoulder a little differently. I'm maintaining my posture. I'm not leaning to the side or back to try and get stable enough to press. Body's like a plank. Push away from that plank. You can't shoot a cannon from a canoe, so if you're not stable here, things just aren't happening. So nice and stable, press. Nice job. We'll go back to one more set of extension reaches. 6 of these. Using your heel lift if you can. As an opportunity to stretch the hands, I've got my fingers open. Great anti-sitting exercise. Just sort of wakes everything up, gets the blood flowing. Okay, this is the cross body tap and push-up position, either at a wall or on the floor. First, you start with your feet a little wider, cross, cross, then take yourself into a push-up position. So here I go. My hands are closer together, my feet are wider. I found my plank position. Take one hand, cross to my opposite shoulder, and then take my hands wider and work shoulder blades together. Nice controlled push-up. Bring my hands back close, tap, tap, wide, nice and slow, working lots of things through this. So up to 5 of those. Could be here, tap, tap, push up. A lot harder on the floor, like 55% of your body weight. So you can go from something high to a coffee table and work your way back down. We're going to do balance shoulder cars and then one more of those push-ups before we move on. So here, I'm going to take myself to a balanced position. You can have the back toe tracking if you need that help. Ideally, we want to try and work through this with the back toe off. And as you bring the arms up, nice and slow, be mindful that this movement is coming from your shoulders. You don't want to go into a big back arch, and that would just be moving through your back. Rotating your hands, taking the palms facing out and maybe up into the small of the back. Take a nice deep breath cycle. If you want to challenge your balance here, you could blink. Close your eyes for a second. And then slowly rewind. Where is your movement map for your shoulders today? So you're not moving through pain. If there's something funky, just kind of stop and move out of it, move around it, and then find where you can pick up the motion again. Okay, so that was a pretty decent slow speed for me. I was sort of playing the mental game that I need to go a little slower. So switching sides. Are you on your goofy side, your strong, or your stronger side? Here we go. Breathe. Don't go fast, because then you can't train your brain to what shoulder mobility you have, shoulder mobility you can access, and strength train. Keep dialing this in. There we go. Hold on. So good. Okay, back to the push-up plank tap. Here's my posture. Got a little activation through my hips. And as I take one hand off, I don't want to turn or sag through my body. Take the hands wider. Push up. Cross. Cross. Push that piece of furniture away or push the wall away, creating that tension and that work. Cross. Cross. Open. Pull, pull, pull. When you have good access to your shoulders and you do a strength move like that, the better range of motion that you have, the more range you can strength train in. Let's do a body weight reverse lunge. Okay, so from the side, I'm stepping back nice and straight, getting control of my toes. I can drop the back knee a little or a lot, and I can also pitch into my front knee and foot a little bit if that feels okay on the knee. About 5 of these per side. You want to step back nice and straight, and sometimes that's more challenging than you might think because it takes ankle mobility, hip, knee stuff, right? Not to maybe be here and feel like that's straight for you. Doing this with a piece of painter's tape down your yoga mat in front of a mirror for a few is a good way of determining whether or not you can step back nice and straight. If dropping the back knee is challenging, then work where you can. Step back, just a little bounce, and then come back up, right? It doesn't have to be a deep knee bend. It can just be a little one, and then come back up. Could be as simple as a toe tap. Variations. Okay, so that's one body weight set. Now we'll go with some band pulls on an angle. I've got a stretchy band with a fair bit of slack, and I'm testing that I can get my arms on a diagonal. 6 pulls. And as I pull open, I feel the shoulder blades and shoulder muscles working. I want to make sure I stay out of my neck and that the tension isn't so much that I'm having to torque my wrist. You know, my wrist is nice and open, both wrists. My elbow, about 6 of those, and then switch sides. I think through the 6 weeks of this program, I keep changing this one. And so I'll stay consistent and change it again today. After you've done 6 and 6, we'll put the band down. We'll go back to the reverse lunge with the option to load it with some weight. So I'm going to take a set of dumbbells. I'm aiming for 6 per side. I'm just taking my time to connect my posture and my feet, step back. If you wanted to add breath for this kind of move, I would suggest breathing in as you step back and down, and then exhaling as you come back up to posture. Try to keep that front knee tracking right over the middle of your foot so it's not wandering in or out. All these cues just are friendly reminders to try and help you internally change what's going on with your body and get stronger. Some cues work better than others. Some people respond more to external cueing, using the environment outside, like don't let your knee wander in or out, keep it, you know, in the center, as opposed to telling you to do something with the internal. It's all part of how we learn differently. Now I've lost count, but I'm feeling like this is my last one. Okay, back to the band pull. 6 on the diagonal. Whew, good stuff. Okay, so connect my feet. I'm not locked out in my knees, so just floating, my feet working, attention. Yep, check that. It's good. 6, and then switch the top arm. This time I counted. Let's take it into knees and squeeze. So 2 options here. You could use a band. I'm going to go with weights. And the knees and squeeze is a hip hinge. Then you pull the elbows up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then stand up tall. So first you hinge, then you row, then you stand. Up to 10 of these. Staying out of the neck as you pull those elbows to the sides. You don't have to go too far. I'll show you what I mean. You don't have to bring the elbows all the way up here and get into your shoulders and neck. Elbows can finish at the sides. If you don't have dumbbells, you can use a band. Checking that the tension feels right. Walk your hands down. And here it be hinge, row, stand. Okay. And from here, we'll take it into curtsy lunge. And today, I'll give you the option of going right away with load. So the curtsy lunge, staying on one side. And you can modify this to make it a tap, kind of like the reverse lunge, or you can go a little deeper into it, getting into your hip. Think of facing and keeping somewhat square to the wall in front of me. So I'm not rotating my body. Step back, stay square. About 6. Modifying the rep range based on how that's feeling for you. Love it. That feels good. And the work for that really added up. And I'm going to take us to a few shoulder exercises now. And I'm going to go with a lightweight myself. And this is where you just really have to listen to your body. How much weight training have you done? Did you train yesterday? Did you wash your windows? Are your shoulders sore, right? How many reps can you do? These are 2-pound dumbbells. Hey, they match my new sweater. I went for pink again, but just not bright. But, I would say up to 10 of these. You work the shoulders up and then work the down face, right? Even if you don't have light weights available to you, you can do this with your hands, body weight, and when you get up into that rep range, you're going to feel some work happening. Okay, so now I'm going to flip my palms up and do some gentle external rotation. Now, if you had heavy weights, this probably wouldn't be a good idea. You need to go lighter, 2, 3, maybe up to 5 pounds, and then try to take it into a few angles, right? Just be creative. Our rotator cuffs don't just work this way. So challenge yourself, breathe, stay out of the neck. Wonderful. And that's about enough. So now I'm going to go with the farmer's carry. This is taking a weight that will challenge you to be passed from side to side. I carefully pick up the weight. And as I walk forward and back in my space, I'm just transferring and playing with different amounts of load. And in one of my classes, I actually had this client fill a suitcase. She actually got like a carry-on size suitcase, and she was passing it from side to side, and she filled it to be about 30 pounds. So I thought that was smart. So you might not have a 10-kilogram kettlebell to do this with, but be creative. You could use a recycled grocery bag type thing and put some heavier books or tools in there, and that would work as well. Let's go back to the knees and squeeze. We'll run through this set again. And so here's a little intuitive training, based on how I was feeling. 10 reps with those weights. Well, I didn't get it. I'm pretty sure I was talking and doing band work. But I've gone 1 dumbbell size down, and I've got a little bit more comfort and freedom to move. I'm still resistance training. My form is good. So listening to your body on any given training day. You've got the jam going on today and you want to go heavier and it feels good, by all means do. I'm all about using load, but not at the expense of thinking you have to add load to get stronger, and it has to be linear in that load progression, because that has been proven now in all the research that that doesn't have to be that way, and in fact probably shouldn't be, depending on your goals and how you want to do things. So I like that idea. Then you can be creative and, most importantly, listen to your body. Curtsy lunges. Oh, no putting those weights down. Back to the curtsy lunge. Do you always start with the same side? Maybe you could consider changing that. 6 aside. Good. Four. 6. Good. Now we'll put the weights down. Let's go back to the light weights for the shoulders for a moment. And we'll do a couple of different things, okay? So let's sit back and open the weights in a reverse fly position. Because these are light weights, I've got great control in my end range. If I had chosen heavier weights, I wouldn't be able to almost pause in the open position, and it just changes how it goes. Yes, you're loading more, but here I'm getting some wonderful activation through my shoulders, and I'm also thinking about all those muscles that I'm trying to work and strengthen through my backside. All right, so you get a lot of benefit from these exercises, whether or not you do body weight, light weight, and some of the benefits are better with lighter weights, and you get good practice in your movement and it feels great, and then you can load up safely. Squeezing my shoulder blades together, holding these weights up. Rest. Let's do some shoulder circles with the weights. We'll do one more before we go back to the carry. And take the weights to the shoulders and see how my overhead press feels. So nice light weights, getting a good range of motion, connecting with my feet. Oh yeah, that looks good and feels great. I'm going to do 6. Wonderful. Now that carry. So last time I used a 10 kilogram. Now I'm going to try it with a 12 kilogram. So I'm still not at that 30-pound suitcase that my strength student had. But lots going on when I pass the load over. I feel lots of muscles activating. I'm trying to stay tall in my posture, not let the weight pull me down through my shoulder, trying not to over grip. This is a very functional exercise. Groceries never tend to weigh the same. When you divide it between hands, you're working lots of different aspects of your strength. Okay, so I'm going to go with the either get up or assisted chair lowers. So if you're at the stage that you're not doing a get up and you've done these 6 classes because I haven't done a lot of getting up and down from the floor, this is the practice, and it is actually part of the get up. So using a chair, could have a chair on both sides or a dowel in a chair. You want to start to practice setting up the assisted lower, and then coming up and down. Now, we do have lunges in this class, and I had you guys stepping back, but think of this as, can I go no hands down? And then take a breath in and try to come no hands up, or just use a little bit of assistance up. Okay, so this is your assisted lower. My back toes are gently tucked. I want to learn how to come off the floor with using my legs and not using my shoulders or my neck. So it's not this and up. It's not this and up, right? So this is a practice, a drill that is going to get you stronger. Now the lowering phase is a great way to get strong. So go nice and slow and controlled and controlled and controlled. Then when you're ready, breathe in and come up. Okay. Now, some of you are doing a get up, so that's wonderful. It's Sheila's favorite exercise. And I've just got a few minutes left, so I'm going to do some work on the get up. Put this mat down because it's a little easier to see me. And just that reminder of whether you feel like this is something very foreign and that you may or may not be able to do. This is where you need to set your goals. If you've lost the ability to get up and down from the floor, stick with this and let me teach you how to do that. Shout out to Shirley here in class today. She's taken some time to learn the stages of the get up. And this is something that I'm suggesting could be a daily practice. I'm on my back. I've checked that I don't have a big low back curve. I've just kind of adjusted my shoulders. And I'm just teetering my back down a little bit. The curve's still there. But then I feel my front abdominal muscles. Adjust my t-shirt and sweater. And then get the chin set. You take a breath in and you push into this foot and roll to your elbow. Flatten your hand. So open your fingers. Come up to your hand. Now, I couldn't lift myself up here. I need to just smidge my hand in a little bit. Now I feel like I can come up with my weight and through with my knee. Sitting into my hips, I can take a breath in to do that intra-abdominal support and take some time to line yourself up for the lunge. So I'll just move my front foot, okay? You can pivot the back if needed, but for camera's sake, this is better. Now, taking a breath in and standing up, not using my neck and shoulders. Focus on something, step back, get control of your balance, and then slowly, softly land the knee. Here's that open foot, so I have lots of room now to come down to my hand. This is where I change my gaze and look up, and then come down to the elbow and down to the floor. I think I cued that gaze thing just a little late, but I was trying to do it on this side and just give you the sense of where you look straight ahead versus your hand or eventually when you have load in the hand. Okay, so here we go, second side. Check my torso, my neck's loose. I'm going to have a breath in and an easy roll to my elbow. This is where you can be looking at your hand. Come to the tall sitting position. Be ready to lift up and pop your knee through. And then as you come into your hips, this is where your gaze changes to forward, not in the overhead position. Here's my front foot coming around. My back toes are lightly tucked. Take a breath in and anchor in my shoulders so I don't shrug as I stand up. Good. Big step back. Get that connection with your toes. Soft knee to land. Again, opening the front foot so there's lots of room to hinge down to your hand. Take another breath in. You can hear me breathing here just to give myself a little intra-abdominal support as I come through to my hip, roll down to my elbow, and back to the floor. Now that was excellent. A slow version. We can modify the get up. If you don't feel like you can go the whole way, you can just simply make the get up portion to the elbow and practice coming up and down from the elbow, making sure that you push into the floor. You're not going up, so there's no stress on the neck. This is a roll, right? So if you're feeling like it's a lot in through here, you got to practice rolling more. All right, well, that's our time for today. Thank you so much for building a stronger version of yourself with me. This will be a new program next week. I look forward to sharing that with you.